Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're diving into something that I absolutely love, rare rabbit breeds. You all know how much joy I get from talking about animals that aren't common, the ones you don't see on every farm, and today we're heading into the rabbit world to meet a truly special little gem, the beige rabbit. Now, before you start thinking beige, that sounds a little boring. I know. I know the name sounds boring. But I promise you this rabbit is anything but dull. With its soft dove-gray coat and those striking blue-gray eyes, it's a breed that captures attention precisely because of its subtle beauty. And because it's so rare, not many people even know it exists, which makes learning about it even more exciting. The beige rabbit is a recognized breed in the United Kingdom, specifically under the British Rabbit Council. Unlike some of the better-known breeds like the Flemish Giant or the Dutch, the beige is not recognized by the American Rabbit Breeders Association, or ARBA, which is one reason it's still so uncommon in North America. It's thought to have originated in the 20th century in the United Kingdom, developed by breeders who were experimenting with coat colors and striving for something both unique and uniform. The goal was to create a rabbit with a soft, warm-toned coat, unlike the bold patterns of the Dutch or the dark contrasts of the Havana. And that's exactly what they achieved. A rabbit that looks as though it's been dipped in warm sand or misted with gray smoke. Unfortunately, its rarity means it's never been widely bred, and that makes it both fascinating and a little concerning because it remains on the rare breed radar, and they are a rare and endangered breed. But let's talk about looks. The beige rabbit is considered a medium breed, generally weighing about 6 to 8 pounds, or that's between 2.5 and 3.5 kilos, roughly. I did that math in my head. I might be a little off there. That makes it a comfortable size, really not as tiny as a Netherland dwarf or a Holland lop, but definitely not as hefty as a Flemish giant or anything like that. So, medium in size. Its body type is what is known as the commercial shape. It's balanced, not too long, not too lanky, not too compact, not too round, kind of the perfect balanced rabbit body shape. Think of it as a middle ground in the rabbit world. That's the middle of the road shape of the rabbit. Okay, not a compact like a Holland lop, not long like a Belgian hare. So they're kind of in the middle. The coat is what makes the beige rabbit stand out. It's short, dense, and what's called a flyback coat. That means that if you stroke the fur backwards, so from the butt to the head, that fur will spring right back into place, as opposed to roll back, which is when you brush the hair up in the opposite way from the butt to the head, and it slowly sinks back into place. Okay, flyback, which is what these guys have, snaps right back right away. The color of the coat is actually the star. It's a warm, sandy beige, hence the name, but that beige has a smoky or bluish undertone. So it's not just straight beige. It's not that boring. In good lighting, it almost looks like soft velvet. And then there are the eyes. Unlike many rabbits that have brown or ruby colored eyes, the beige sports blue-gray eyes that complement the coat perfectly. When you see them in person, you realize just how striking that combination really is. But of course, looks are one thing. But what's the beige rabbit like as a companion? Well, owners and breeders of this rare and unique breed describe it as being quite gentle and very calm. It's not one of those hyperactive, zooming around the house rabbits, but it's more steady, more mellow. That makes it excellent for show purposes and also lovely for a pet for those people who prefer something quieter, more laid back. Because it's a medium breed, it is a good size for handling. It's large enough that it's not as delicate as something small like a Netherland dwarf, but it's small enough to be manageable, even for children under supervision. Children shouldn't handle rabbits all on their lonesome. But under supervision, yeah, they can handle these guys because they're medium in size. Now, when it comes to the actual care of the beige rabbit, he really doesn't need anything unusual. Its requirements are basically the same as any other healthy domestic rabbit. They need a good diet, foundationally hay, 80% hay, pellets offered in moderation, some fresh leafy greens, and fresh water. Obviously, all animals need access to fresh, clean water. They also need decent housing, secure housing with enough room to hop, stretch, and stand upright. They need to be able to move, get up to speed. Whether you're keeping rabbits inside or out, space and safety are the key factors. Make sure their enclosures are big enough for them to move quite a bit. They need to be able to take some bounces, and make sure they are safe from predators. And grooming, well, they've got that short flyback coat, so they don't need a lot of grooming. Regular brushing will help keep the loose hair under control and prevent fur ingestion so they don't get a blockage. But in general, their grooming needs are very low because they do have a very short coat. And as for exercise, well, it's basically the same with rabbits. Time outside of their hutch or their enclosure is important if they don't have a huge space. They need room to run, dig, and explore to stay both physically and mentally healthy. So give your rabbit the best life you can. Now, one of the most important things to understand about the beige rabbit is its rarity. This is not a breed you're likely to find at your local pet store or even with most breeders. It's largely maintained by enthusiasts in the UK, and even then, the numbers are extremely small, concerningly small. Because it's not recognized by ARBA here in North America, there's little incentive for North American breeders to focus on it. And that has kept the population small. If you don't recognize a breed, breeders in the area where you control the shows don't have any motivation to preserve it. So, for those who love rare breeds, this makes the beige rabbit especially precious because it's not common. It's not just a pet, it's a part of rabbit breeding history that deserves to be preserved. And I do hope in the future that breeders around the world, especially in the UK, take steps to preserve this guy. But that brings us to an important point every time we talk about rare breeds, whether we're talking goats or horses or rabbits, we're talking about genetic diversity. Keeping these breeds alive matters, not just for the unique looks, but for the traits they carry. The beige may not be famous, but its genetic background adds to the richness of the rabbit world. And as their population dwindles, keeping that breed alive requires more and more inbreeding. So if you are out there and you have a beige rabbit, a quality purebred beige rabbit, this is one of those times where I would tell you look into possibly a little genetic diversity and seeing if you can find an unrelated partner for that rabbit. I'm not always an advocate for random breeding, but this wouldn't be random. This would be the preservation of a breed that is slowly going extinct for lack of sufficient genetic diversity. So this kind of thing is important. I mean, it just is. We need to preserve these breeds. They are a part of history and they deserve a good life filled with joy and filled with people who love their breed. So the next time someone tells you that a beige is boring, have a little story to tell. You can tell them about the beige rabbit. The beige rabbit proves that subtlety can be stunning, because these guys are. And with its soft sandy coat, its blue-gray eyes, and its gentle temperament, it's truly one of the hidden treasures of the rabbit world. It might be rare, but that's what makes it worth learning about, worth admiring, and worth preserving. That is about it for me here today at Andersen Acres. Do you love rare breeds as much as I do? Drop a comment below and tell me which rare rabbit breed you'd like to see featured next. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.